Well, this afternoon there's breaking news coming through, and it's just that information is that the National Democratic Congress chairman Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo has been arrested. The party and its lawyers declined an invitation by the CID to the national chairman over the recent spate of recent kidnappings and fire outbreaks in the country. His lawyer actually his lawyers hold that the invitation amounts to, quote, political harassment and intimidation. We'll bring you details shortly. But Mr. Agoga, once we were talking, you indicated, you just mentioned this, and we just have breaking news coming in on that. You said that there has been attempts to link Mr. Ofosu-Ampofo to the state of security, which we were just discussing, and you call that a state of denial. What are your thoughts on this latest development?
If it is indeed true that the national chairman of the NDC has been arrested, I would say it is an irresponsible move. It is an attempt to intimidate and harass the National Democratic Congress. We will not allow ourselves to be intimidated or harassed. You would recall that when the chairman was initially invited by the police in connection with the doctored leaked tip, the chairman was very clear. He gave statements, the police preferred charges, and he is in court. Now, initially, one issue that was investigated was the issue of kidnapping. But the state itself dropped that charge because they didn't have any evidence with which to proceed against the national chairman in respect of kidnapping. While the chairman is in court, you decide to extend another invitation to him and say he should appear before you again to assist you in investigations in relation to the very charge of kidnapping that you yourself have dropped. So at that point, we came to the conclusion that the government was trying to blame whatever is happening in this country on our national chairman. We will not countenance that. The national chairman has his rights. He's in court. Let the state go to court and prove their charges. If they have uncovered fresh evidence, let them amend their charge sheet. But you cannot continue to use the state security apparatus the way they are trying to use it to harass and intimidate our national chairman. We cannot accept that. That is unacceptable in a democratic country like ours.
Mr. Agoga, we're receiving the confirmation right this moment as I speak to you that he has been picked up. You say that this is an act of intimidation and you will not allow it. But yes, he was invited. Why did he just not show up?
An invitation is an invitation. And once the reason for the invitation was stated, we felt that the invitation was an abuse of process. That is why we advised that the chairman should not honor the invitation. In any case, invitations are invitations. You are not obliged to answer to an invitation. The issues stated in that letter were frivolous, and that is why the chairman declined the invitation.
They have reason to believe that he has something to do with the spate of kidnapping and the fire outbreaks, which is why they say they invited him.
I am saying that those same issues had been raised earlier. Statements were extracted from him. The state, realizing that they didn't have evidence, dropped the charge of kidnapping. So, charges, however, he was charged with attempts to cause harm, and those issues are being tried. The point I'm simply making is that if the state now believes that they have uncovered evidence, let them go to court and amend their charge sheet. But you cannot use the police to extend frivolous invitation to our national chairman. He's the leader of the main opposition party. He has got work to do. You cannot. He's on bail. While the court sees to the matter, he's on bail. But if you want to use the police to harass at any point in time, when you feel like inviting him, you invite him and he goes to respond, etc. We're saying that you are abusing his fundamental rights, and that is unacceptable in a democratic country such as ours. We've come a long way. We've come a long way. The NDC has been in power before, and we're saying that we cannot be intimidated by the moves of this government.
You cannot be intimidated. I'm going to come back to you shortly so that you tell me what next your plan will be. But Mr. Tobo, I still have you there.
Yes, I'm here.
I believe that as a security analyst, we were just talking about security concerns or security issues in the country when this breaking news just came in. I believe you have some thoughts to share on this.
Oh, sure. There is something that is very unprofessional, and in police practices all around the world, it's unacceptable. And I want to believe that the Ghana Police Service is not treading on that lane. One, a person high-profile person of his caliber, the national chairman of the leading opposition party in the country. If the police want to effect an arrest, I want to believe that they've done a lot of background investigations and they've concluded. It's not about prima facie. They are very convinced and confirming that this is the person who is involved in all these allegations that they are leveling against him. So if they arrest him, I expect that immediately by tomorrow he should be in court, charges should be ready, and they should prosecute him. But that notwithstanding, this is a case that is already in court. You know, sometimes we don't even need to sensationalize matters. Instead of arresting somebody, if it is a fresh case, you can just go to court with criminal summons, serve criminal summons on the person and let him appear. And as Agarga is saying, if he's still on the old case, go to court, amend your charge, and get him back there. But I don't have the details. Let's hope that it is not just being sensationalized, that it is something fresh. The prima facie is very strong, and tomorrow morning he will be in court, and they wouldn't be asking the court, please give us more time to do better checks, because we need to investigate before we arrest. That is my point.
Why is it necessary that, you know, for high-profile arrests, for example, like this in this very one, you need to treat the people, you know, in a special way? Are they not equal before the law as everybody else is?
No, these are people who cannot run away. You know, there are people that are so the integrity of these people you cannot doubt in terms of their nationality and the fact that you can find them anytime, anywhere. So if you need them and they are not even available and you think that it's becoming a challenge, serve them criminal summons, let them appear before court, and the court will deal with them. You know, the fact is that the police do not have a responsibility to punish. The police is supposed to ensure that people have access to justice, and the court will decide on whether to punish or not to punish. So sometimes our behavior sometimes can be misinterpreted by many that we are probably being politicized. But for me, I believe so much in the CID, I believe so much in the Ghana Police Service, and I want to believe they will do a very professional job. Let's just wait and see.
Let's just wait and see. Mr. Agaga, I'm coming to you. Let's just wait and see. The point that Mr. Tobu makes is that for high-profile arrests like these, you need to treat them specially. He believes that there has to be background checks that would have been made, which makes sure that once the person is arrested, the next day prosecution begins and court processes begin. You speak for the minority on the Defense and Interior Committee. How do you see this? I mean, in relation, what he said in relation to what has just happened, do you think that they may have actually found what they're looking for that makes it easy for them to prosecute him?
I don't think so. What I can see is a selective application of our country's laws by a politicized CID, which is led by a politician cast in the mold of a CID Director General. Look, we're all in this country. When a journalist was murdered in cold blood, somebody was accused, an honorable member. How did they deal with that honorable member? They went to his house. He sat in the comfort of his house for their interrogations. In fact, the very day they interrogated him, he left this country. He was spotted at the airport. He granted interviews before his departure. Why are they applying the law selectively? Is it because of Osam is the chairman of the opposition NDC? We are saying that what is unfolding before our eyes is an intimidation tactic. That tactic can only heighten the state of insecurity in our country. Remember, the NDC has a large following, and definitely we shall stand by our chairman. He is not alone. He will not walk alone. He has company in the over 4 billion supporters of the NDC, whom he can support in this trying moment.
So you say that this is an act of intimidation, which you believe will heighten the state of insecurity in the country at the moment. But is that
absolutely? I mean, how can you intimidate over 4 million supporters of an opposition party? Is it possible? But what is happening to Osam applies to the over 4 million Ghanaians who support the National Democratic Congress. And that is an unhealthy development that needs to be watched carefully.
Mr. Gaga, don't you believe that it is these are some of the things that, you know, perhaps create the insecurity when, you know, statements or comments like these are made, when they say that, when people like you say it will heighten the insecurity, then your followers then feel empowered to...
I have analyzed the situation carefully, and I am telling you that, you see, the political space in this country from 1992 was carefully crafted in a manner that allows for multi-party democracy to thrive. But if you want to use the state security apparatus to harass and to intimidate political opponents, I'm saying that that move, that practice, can compromise the very security of the state. And that needs to be watched carefully.
Mr. Tobu, my final question to you is, how do we deal with this, you know, if indeed, like Mr. Gaga says, it has a potential of, you know, increasing or heightening the state of insecurity that we feel in this country, or that some people say they feel in this country. How can we deal with it? I mean, we can foresee.
The Constitution provides clearly that law and order issues must be dealt with by the police. And the police are not supposed to act in such a way that they will create insecurity. I believe so much and I trust so much in the professionalism of the CID. A certain arrest of somebody really doesn't mean much. But when they begin to read meanings and suspect that this is a political vendetta, it's political witch hunting, it is in fact intimidation, and it is proven that the police do not have a solid case to have effected the arrest of the national chairman of the NDC, we would have lost our credibility, we would have been deemed to be very unprofessional, and in fact, we would have been sending the country into a direction of insecurity instead of protecting it. And you know what? Terrorism is all around us. We just create a very enabling environment. And I'm telling you, people will take advantage, and we will be very sad. I want to believe the police will be professional. Thank you so much.
Well, Mr. Sobu, thank you so much as well. But also news coming in right now suggests that he's been taken to his house. You have a quick comment on that before you go, Mr. Tobu?
It's a normal process. Probably they want to go and SW him, just search him and see if they could get any connection to be able to consolidate the evidence that they have already gotten.
SW him, what does that mean?
Search warrant. They want to go and search him, searching the witness.
Okay. Mr. Tobu, thank you so much for your contribution to this conversation. Really appreciate it. Really been insightful for us. Superintendent retired Peter Tobu there. He's also a security analyst talking to us on that. But I still have Mr. Agaga. Mr. Agaga, your national chairman, we're receiving information right now, has been arrested. You say that this is an act of intimidation. This is an act of intimidation that is, and also selective application of the law. You say this is only going to heighten the state of insecurity in the country at the moment. I'm going to go on social media and find out, share with you some of the thoughts that have come through and take your thoughts. But I asked earlier, what is going to happen next? What are you going to do as a party?
Well, as a party, we have our strategy, but you can be sure we will not rally behind our chairman. Our chairman will not walk alone in these circumstances. We're saying that the teaming supporters of the NDC will rally behind our chairman. We shall lend him all the support that he deserves in this trying movement. He will not be left alone to face any forms of harassment and intimidation from the state security apparatus.
All right, let's just go quickly on Facebook. Stay with me, Mr. Agaga. Take your final words on the story there. National Chairman of NDC, Ofosu Ampofo, arrested. Hashtag JoyNews. Let's see from the comments we're getting here. Fred Mensah Nyako says, now Ghana police is working. Yusuf Husseini says, I cannot fathom why the Council of Elders of the NDC could publicly endorse the refusal of Mr. Ofosu Ampofo to report to the police to answer questions in case he has been mentioned, said the CID. Just a few years ago, the same NDC leaders instructed the arrest of Kennedy Japan when they felt his comment was criminal. Should Kennedy Japan sue them for arresting him with the same power they are undermining today? Vasconi Asari says no one is above the law. The judiciary system must work accordingly, no matter your position or status. The NDC must talk without making any coherent claim. Let them challenge this time, because I know they will surely do. Hashtag Rise Up Ghana. Rudy Nate says, no matter what you do against them, they shall surely come out victorious come 2020. Eduji says indirectly the security personnel who assault Honorable Samjata is above the law, right? He's asking a question. Everlasting Johnson says not politics. Has Kennedy Japan been arrested over Ahmed's death? We must do things in order to maintain law and order in this country. The NDC will definitely object because Kennedy, into bracket, I know is not behind Ahmed's death, wasn't arrested. Wafaya says this be the worst year. Sorry for Masa Ofosu and kudos to the police. Alaba says let's wait for their press conference at any moment and let them not forget that no one is above the law. Henceforth, they should respect themselves as well-meaning Ghanaians and allow the law to work. So, Mr. Gaga, there's a mixture. There seems to be a mixed reaction there. Some people think that, make the point you made about Kennedy Japan. Others think that nobody's above the law. Let the laws, the laws of the country just work. Your final comment, sir.
Look, we foresaw the arrest of Ofusu Ampofu, judging from the way MPP communicated, starting from last week, started talking. The language they spoke was abundantly clear to us that the police would definitely act under the dictate of the political headship of our security in this country. And that is what is unfolding. Yes, I'm saying this without any fear of contradiction. The LPP communicators, starting from last week, set out to prepare the minds of the public for Ofusu Ampofu's arrest, especially when the British, the Australians, and now the Canadians issued travel alerts in the face of the growing insecurity in our country. We knew they would try to make a scapegoat out of Ofusu Ampofu. But the point I'm making is that Ofusu Ampofu is not alone. If they want to harass Ofusu Ampofu, they must be prepared to harass the over 4 billion NDC supporters who will stand solidly behind their leaders.
Ms. Agaga, thank you so much for your time this evening here on the show. James Agaga is the Minority Spokesperson on Defense and Interior Committee in Parliament there. We're just talking about security matters when this breaking news came in, and so he's been offering some thoughts on it. He says that this is an act of intimidation by the government. He says that it's also selective application of the law. He says they will not sit down. The followers of the NDC will be following Mr. Ofusu Ampofu as well. They'll be supporting him because, as he puts it, he is not alone. Security perspective also that we got from Mr. Tobu says that, well, high-profile arrests like this, you must have done your background checks that will help you prosecute the matter immediately you make that arrest. More of that will come up in our subsequent bulletins. But if you just joined us, breaking news coming in. Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Samuel Ofosu Ampofu, has been arrested. We'll bring you more of that. You can go on our website, myjoyonline.com. That story is our top story. You want to take your time and go through the stories. You also want to see what has been happening here on the Joy News channel. You scroll all the way down to our YouTube link, and you get to follow our conversations since morning here on the Joy News channel. My name is Gifty Andopia. Unfortunately, we weren't able to bring you sports, but let's talk showbiz is how we wrap up the show. Do stay and enjoy.